Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Nordic Championships, where every game is absolute chaos and any team can beat any team. We are on our final game of the regular split, and it's going to be Team Singularity versus Dusty. Now, Team Singularity have been denied first place after holding that spot for pretty much the entire season. And Dusty, if they lose this game, they will be going up versus Nordic for a spot in playoffs, or do they get knocked out completely?
No, they'll be against Nordic. It's a 1-1 between Dusty and Nordic in the head-to-head.
Yes.
So they will have a tiebreaker best of one to decide who goes to playoffs if Dusty lose. If they win, Nordic are straight up out of playoffs, which it would be a huge hit. And I know the start of the split was rough for them, but they had that resurgence. They were looking like they could potentially make it. They beat out Hillerod to make it competitive, but it's now out of their hands. They are going to be huge Singularity huge Singularity fans right now. Nordic hoping for them to find this win, but Dusty, their fate is still in their hands. If they win this game, not only do they guarantee playoffs, they can actually fight against Hillerod to potentially get third place.
And Team Singularity looking like a force to be reckoned with as well here at the moment in the Nordic Championship. Last week, they had their first kind of big upset week where they went 0-2. And you could argue that was probably because they had a stand-in Eddie Carey. They got the return of Rye this week, and they look really strong. They kind of crushed DreamHack in that last game, and Hidden as well kind of got shut down from the likes of Scood. Scood reading them around the map really, really well. As we are taking into picks and bans, Singularity on this blue side and Dusty on the red side. We'll see what gets banned away. We've seen a lot of Ornn, Syndra and stuff today as well, so we'll have to see.
A lot of strong champions at the moment. 10.5 is the patch. Last game of the regular season, barring tiebreakers coming in here. Yorick banned away instantly from Coinstance, not wanting to have that side lane menace, which we've seen them find wins off before.
Yeah, it's almost like a permanent ban away from Coincidence after the beginning of this season. Now, Dusty, do they want to ban away the likes of the Ornn? The Syndra is going to be the ban here in the center. They're typically the red side bans we do see quite regularly.
We haven't seen Rye playing too much center. I'm not saying it's not in his wheelhouse, but he has been leaning towards the Ezreal pretty heavily. We actually saw a ban away from that in the game yesterday. So, who really knows?
It was a surprise as well, because DreamHack does play it as well, but they did just ban it away. But for now, it's the Ornn. It's pretty standard bans here across the board. The Gregor's coming out from Singularity. Maybe they look to they want to probably leave that Jarvan open, which we've seen quite a lot of priority on, and try and get that if they can.
Will we see the Ziggs ban, though, is the question. Because Hoyes has been doing monstrous work on that champion so far. And we do see that ban come out, so not wanting to see the threat from that bot lane menace. And we saw how powerful it could be in the last game we just had. Now, Dusty, do they want to ban away the Senna, the Aphelios, maybe the Ezreal? A lot of options up and available. A lot of strong 80 carries.
I feel like the Aphelios is the smart ban here. And then Scood could just take away the Jarvan as his first pick as well if they do ban that away. We'll see what gets banned away, though. They are running this time down a little bit here. For the side of Dusty, they are going to ban away the Senna as the last ban. So pretty standard red side bans, but this does mean that the Aphelios MF trade is probably going to break out.
Not necessarily. I feel like teams are more willing to go for the Ezreal and Varus than we have seen previously. And I think Singularity, most of all, I feel like they're happy to trade and prioritize something else. Potentially a jungler, potentially a mid laner for Krogson, but I don't think there's many that you'd pick first blind in this situation. So could just be a jungler top lane. It will depend on what we see. And it is going to be the set. Nerf slightly on this patch, but still powerful in the right hands. Now for Dusty to answer.
Well, we did just see in the last game, Lockerdon get put so far behind and then was able to take over the game in the late game. So
he still just one hits the enemy AD carry with the full rotation. So lots of counterplay. Looks like Dusty going to make their choice in terms of AD carries, which ones they want to prioritize. Potentially with this Misfortune here. Could lock in a jungler after that for Joachim. The Misfortune Jarvan combo pretty strong in tandem, so could potentially see that come out.
Yeah, it could be the pickup. We'll see what they decide to go for. It makes the most sense here. With that Gragas taken away, obviously Scood has opted towards the Lee Sin quite regularly here in the regular split as well. Joachim as well has played that Lee Sin, but I'd much rather see the Jarvan get locked in for Joachim here just because of the wombo combo they have available to them. And then things like the Xayah and the Rakan have been left open as well as potential options here. So if they want to go for that for Team Singularity, they can do so. The Lee Sin is denied here from Singularity, which does mean things like that Jarvan are open to them, though.
Yeah, Jarvan's potentially open. You also have options like Elise to match the pressure, Echo being hovered. There's a lot of options open and available for Singularity. It just depends what they want to offer in the situation. They're going for the direct answer of the Rek'Sai. Normally, Gragas Rek'Sai are the picks that are played effectively into Lee Sin to match his early pressure and beat him out in a 1v1 because you can interrupt a lot of his damage from his recast of his Q for the execute. Question's going to be what does Singularity round out with? If they want to take an AD carry, I feel like now is the time if you're going to prioritize something, if it's the Ezreal for Rai or otherwise. It needs to be now, or they'll get banned away. But the thing is, there's quite a lot of AD carries open and available. If you're not too fussed, you could take something else. And they're going to go for the Cassiopeia. Technically a flex, but likely going to be in the hands of Krogson.
All right, now over to the side of Dusty. Do they want to get themselves a mid laner so that they can deal with this Cassiopeia? But you did say it's flexible, so maybe not. Maybe they want to get themselves a good bot lane duo and just ban away like the Aphelios and the Ezreal. As they go for the LeBlanc for Legions, a good blind pick, a good solid pick here in general, but Miasma can shut it down.
This is something that we've seen Dusty prioritize a lot, is this LeBlanc Lee Sin in the mid-jungle for a lot of early pressure they can apply to the rest of the map. Now, they are on red side. This sets them up to potentially give Quinston a counter pick, so he's strong in the laning phase. The difficulty is that does mean they are blinding support against a bot lane you don't know from the enemy side. So they're going to look to target away things that they wouldn't like to blind into. If they go in that direction, are potentially just difficult picks to deal with. One of them is the Bard. I potentially could even see part of the Zyra Kong combo, maybe the Ezreal banned away as the second one. Singularity, on the other hand, you can look towards supports as well, or just go for top laners. What do you not want Quinston's to play up against this set? Aatrox often a common one, but maybe more concerned about split pushes. Fiora coming out as the answer suggests that yes, they're more concerned about the side lane pressure, especially since already the team fighting is looking pretty solid from Singularity on the back of the set and the Cassiopeia. Obviously, Rek'Sai not the best team fighters, but team fighter. We'll see what else. So expecting maybe the Ezreal here if you want to target Rai specifically. There are a lot of options open and available.
All right, running this timer down here for the side of Dusty. The final ban is going to be that Lulu. So support pool getting pinched. They realize that, like you were saying, the AD carry pool's still kind of blown open. So 2 bans doesn't really deny too much when the Varus, the Aphelios, the Ezreal are all open. Something is still going to be open to Rise. So they want to just take away these supports that they can deal with. But the Zyra Khan's open. The Ezreal Yuumi is open. The last ban here from Singularity is the Gangplank. So top lane has been pinched a little bit for coincidence.
And the question is going to be, what do they blind? Do they want to take something like the Leon and the Nautilus? Maybe the Thresh, something to go aggressive for only 35. Thresh makes the most sense. Lantern gets the immobile misfortune out of difficult situations and also a solid blind. You've denied 2 of the picks that are typically good into that Thresh. Actually, I mean, you can still punish them, but 2 of the picks that typically, if you can find windows to avoid his hooks, you can scale quite well with. I think there are options, though. Zyra is something that's good into the Thresh. We did see play the other day, but not too much success. We'll see. Actually, potentially going to be the victor here.
Ooh,
we said the Cassiopeia was a flex.
Cass could go bot lane here for Rai, or could even go technically top. No, it would go bot lane.
Could be the victor in the mid lane or the bot lane.
Yeah.
Question's going to be what's the support that are going to pair up with it.
Could be a susceptible lane to ganks though from Joachim. They want to look for maybe something that's going to offer some kind of denial tool here to go alongside with the Victor or the Cassiopeias. I'm going to lock in the Taric. So, a lot of survivability now open to Team Singularity, and Dusty looking to round out their comp. Looking for a top laner for coincidence. Now, typically we have seen the Aatrox that was just hovered there by only as a normal answer out to Nilly. Well, not just to Nilly, sorry, to the set that Nilly's on. But Nilly has been a player who likes to take over the top lane. Coincidence is more just an AFK split pusher. And they're going to lock in the Heimerdinger. This is a very interesting draft, Dorks. All right, talk to me.
Yep.
What's going on?
Not too sure. These teams have gone a little bit wild here. So we've got a huge scaling backline for Singularity, and the Tarical is going to give them a ton of protection. For me, on the side of Dusty, it's very much about the early pressure. Top lane, you're going to have priority on the back of that Heimer. Heimer just demolishes melee champions. Mid-jungle are extremely threatening to that Victor if it does stay in the mid lane, which is looking like for now. And bot lane has the potential to punish. Team Singularity has essentially opted into a situation where saying, we're going to go late and beat you there. Dusty are very much focused in on transitioning early leads and priority critically into advantages, because I believe in top and bot, they're going to have easy ability to shove, and in mid lane, it's very hard for Krogson to shove in when he's under threat from a Lee Sin and a LeBlanc. So difficult conditions for Singularity to get through the early game, but if they do scale remarkably well. This is one of the games where Joachim needs to have a standout performance. We've seen him sometimes have rough games. Yesterday, not the best performance, but if he has a good one here, with Legions backing him up on a LeBlanc, they could absolutely look to punish them and potentially capitalize, expand that out, and look to close this one out before the enemy team gets super relevant, because going late game against Victor Cassiopeia, not optimal.
Now remember, for the side of Singularity, they can't go any lower, they can't go any higher. For them, this is denial, this is a statement game. And I was going to say before we got into this, I was like, maybe if you're Singularity, you just don't want to reveal too much here. You want to kind of just play what you played the entire split. But actually, they go for a very interesting draft. Maybe showing their colors and, you know, some other stuff they had prepared for playoffs here was these kind of flexible mages going into the bot and the mid lane, and this Taric pick to go alongside with the Cassiopeia. So we'll have to see whether or not there's more here in the wheelhouse and whether or not this is working. Maybe this is a trial here for the side of Singularity going into playoffs, knowing that for them, not too much is really on the lines more than just pride, as we take to the Rift for the final game of the regular season here at the Nordic Championships.
Now, I know at the top of the screen it still says Nordivind, and I know Nordivind are very much supporting Singularity, but it is Singularity playing right now, although it is Nordivind's hopes that are being represented.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
I forgot about that Rek'Sai skin.
The new one.
It feels so long since she got a skin, and you kind of just forget.
That's a
That's
new
a cool
one.
skin. That is the new one, yeah.
You were saying like it's been so long, you know, it's been like a week.
No, I said I haven't seen that skin. I don't think we.
You said it's been so
I'm sorry.
long.
Yeah,
since
no,
Rek'Sai got a skin, it's
you're
been a
right.
week.
I'm a donut. I haven't seen that Rek'Sai skin yet. Was what I was meant to say.
Well, you know what? You know what Doran's rings? They look a little bit like a forbidden donut.
Forbidden donut.
Have you seen that? Like forbidden food. It's like when stuff looks like really tasty, but it's clearly not.
Yeah.
You shouldn't eat it, but it looks very much edible.
It's like my favorite Reddit is the beans and stuff Reddit. Like beans in a clock. As for now, looks like we're just taking two at the Rift. Coincidence is putting his turrets down in the lane, just able to kind of get some kind of level of control there.
Yeah, very hard to play a melee champion into this. Obviously, a lot of sustain from this set is pretty critical.
Yeah.
That is
Obviously, that was nerfed, though. That was one of the things you were hitting on in the last game, is one of the nerfs they did have was to armor, which doesn't really do too much into the Hyberdinger, and also to his grit sustain from his passive.
It wasn't even grit, it's just his base sustain.
Oh, is it just his base sustain, eh?
Yeah, which obviously, I mean, grit just gives him more sustain. But that's when he's lower HP. This is just flat sustain being nerfed out. A bit too hard to poke out a lane. And he will establish dominance. This is expected. Shoot shove in the top lane, shoot shove in the bot lane, complete control. Mid lane, it's a little bit more even. But obviously there's the potential to get engaged on by the Lee Sin. You've got to be cautious. But Croxon holding up pretty well in this 1v1 so far against Legions, chunking him out, forcing all three corrupting potion stacks.
Well, it's going to force him to chug away there for the moment, but Legion's okay momentarily. I say that, and then he gets chunked out. He jumps in, though, has got Scoot coming forward, and Legion's has to flash.
Great
Scoot
flash.
goes underneath the tower. That was so close to going bad.
Great read on the flash from Legions. He knew if he hesitated, he would go down. Scoot tries to flash to get the knock-up, doesn't find it, and it ends up being a trade of summoners. Legions can TP back in, and now Rek'Sai being flashless, down in CS as well. This champion is now an award. He could find him.
Joachim's coming in. He has got that smite where Scoot does not. They had the idea that he was going for that, and that's going to be the blue buff resetting. Joachim's actually just going to take away the
He
crab.
was spotted on that ward. If you look
Oh, I see.
up
Yeah.
to the right, he was
Thank
spotted
you.
running over that one there on the
Spot
way.
observer.
So does get out of that difficult situation, but still, he's going to lose that Skull Crab on the top side. May even lose his blue right now. So a big hit. That is the cost of going for that gank in mid lane. Pretty critical.
As they're actually looking for something onto Hoyes here. The Miasma is so effective at kind of keeping Hoyes in place. His heal got burnt there from the Ignite from Vayu. Joachim, though, is going to take his advantages here, clear away this Grump and the blue buff for Scoot. There is nothing really to invade. He can maybe take away the crab. It's getting spotted on a ward, so the invade is very risky for him to do, even though it's only a Grump, so it's not really that worth it. Scoot just going to have to kind of settle for his losses while Joachim just denies even more camps from him. Scoot very far behind here. 33 CS to 17.
Yeah, until he took that scuttle, he had a 20 CS lead, which is 5 camps. That's a massive amount. And considering Rek'Sai does fall off a cliff, it is a pretty big hit. Legion's going to get stunned out here, poked a bit, but ultimately on the tower, not threatened. Scoot is heavily played around mid. It's the only lane that he's guaranteed, well, not guaranteed, but it's the only team lane he can really contest prior to Fury in. Bot lane did get shoved in after it bounced. Poison only 35, not too much of an issue. Ignite was actually used by Vayu, so heal and flash burned. Flash from only 35 and heal from Hoyes, so a little bit of a hit in that situation. We have had a bug splat for one of the players on Singularity, but ultimately, you really shouldn't be trading down in summoners in this bot lane. Hoyes and only 35 making a mistake. That has cost him lane priority. Top lane is still fine for Quinston. He's bullying Lily out. He is up in farm. He's actually not up in farm. He's even in farm, but he's managing to put that harass down. And Heimer does a lot of damage late in the game. It's going to be very difficult for Scoot and Lily to approach on this backline up against the Heimer. But realistically, if it does get at those later stages, they are looking strong.
Yeah, looking very, very strong. Right. So let's see stock of where we are currently, because the players are just reconnecting, so it won't be too long before we get back into this one. As we look, Coincidence is equal in CS currently to Nilly, and Nilly has the wave pushing into him. So he's actually pretty happy currently. It's not crashing into the tower. It's just frozen. Well, not frozen, but it's locked just outside of the range of his tower. Coincidence is going to push in and do a fair amount of damage to him there. So his laser beams.
For people who aren't super familiar with Heimer, whenever you hit them with one of your abilities, your W or your E, or either altered versions, all nearby turrets will fire a beam out. The beam does significant damage. So it allows the easy follow-up, and that's why you saw them come in. Otherwise, beams do charge up naturally, but they take like 60 seconds, so they're not really viable to play around. But when you land those abilities, goes in for a huge trade, and that's where a lot of damage comes out from Heimer. So that's why it's super critical to dodge his abilities, because the follow-up is big. But Nilly can just sustain it up. He's got a Doran shield, he's got passive regen. In the meantime, though, Joking going to take this dragon. His bot lane and once again achieve priority, which should be expected, but they are not as far ahead as you'd like, mostly due to the fact that they traded down in that skirmish, lost their summoners, and kind of put themselves on the back foot. But they get the Ocean Dragon, and this is critical for Dusty. As a team who will get outscaled, having these dragons stacked up means you can potentially threaten an Elder sooner than Singularity hit their scaling point. Potentially even just use the soul to win a fight as you're getting to sort of past your peak of when the game is in your favor.
Right, taking a bit of poke there from Hoyes, but for now it's a 200 gold lead over to the side of Dusty. Croxton did such a good job on his own versus Legions. Legions goes in for the quick Mimic Distort for a bit of an Electrocute proc and a bit of chunk onto Croxton. Croxton low on mana, so it's going to get harder for him to clear with these waves, but Legion's also low on mana, so he's going for the earlier base. Teleport's been used by Legions. Croxton still has his barrier, so Summoner Spell burns there, kind of keeping track of that as Hoy's able to dodge away on the Dazzle from Vayu. Do you remember when that ability was point and click?
Yep.
What did Old Tarek even do? I actually never played Old Tarek. You're a bot laner, man. You're a support. You should know this.
So long ago. His E was a point and click stun. I'm pretty sure it's like the further away they are, the longer it's stunned.
What was his ultimate? Didn't he give like resistances or something?
It like did an instant AoE damage. And then I think it like gave an aura out. I don't think that gave resistances. I think that gave like an attack damage aura or something.
Oh, that's it.
And then like his W gave him like passive armor.
But do you remember Old Poppy?
I remember Old Poppy more
where she'd pick someone and only that person could do damage to her.
Yeah, I remember Old Poppy more than Old Tarek.
Who was the worst old champion? Now we're on to like reworks. Anyone who's not been reworked, who was the worst?
Sion was pretty bad.
Oh, Sion had the point and click stun as well.
Yeah. People just go AP and they'd point and click stun you, then they'd walk up, pop the shield, and you just die. I think the reason he seems so bad is because how good the Sion rework was.
Yeah, true. I mean, old Urgot was kind of bad. Hyperkinetic position reverser was such a dumb ultimate. It did nothing. It just stands still for like 2 seconds when he switches place with someone.
It was such a weird AD character. It was very weird when that champion was meta because he was still playing. But I feel like things were a lot less fluid back then with roles because we sort of early in the game. Oh, chains
Legions actually does get those chains off.
Nothing more. Early in the game, things were very fluid with where people played roles. And then for a long time, we hit this point where I was like, okay, AD carry in bot lane, support in bot lane, mage mid. We have some versatility top, and then whatever the meta says in jungle. That was like it. And now we've sort of transitioned back to more fluidity. As you can see, you know, we have a mage in the bot lane. Who'da thunk? But like, Urgot was like a really weird one. That was sometimes, because people wouldn't play it in solo lanes, even though it probably could have been an alright solo laner.
He was an okay mid laner.
potential.
I remember the last patch he was actually relevant. When he was the last meta, it was mid lane. It was because Bjergsen was playing in mid.
But I do remember like when he was played AD carry quite a bit, and it was really weird when you think about it.
Yeah, because he had the homing Q, didn't he?
Yes, you landed your E, and then the Q's permanently homed.
Yeah, you, like the acid thing. And then
That was so annoying. Oh, I remember. You just giving me flashbacks when you're laning against it, and he hits it. He's like,
I remember.
you need to go man immune on him.
Yeah, I once played him mid lane, and my jungler went, hey, do you want blue buff at level 1? So the jungler sacrificed his start to give me blue buff, and I just walked into lane and was just spamming Q, hit level 2, and I murdered mid lane. It was so
I'm gonna be
scummy.
honest, dude, I don't believe it. I do not believe a jungler giving over the first blue in solo queue. Never happens.
I wasn't in solo queue, mate. I wasn't even not high enough level for solo queue when that was the case.
That makes more sense.
Groupstage is going to dodge away on the chains, but still gets that electrocute proc off.
Still gets
Legion's
beaten up.
I mean, he did get the double sigil off there, so that's a lot of damage thrown down. Goldie's still 200 over to the side of Dusty. They haven't really been able to accelerate too much here, but Rift Herald sitting on Joykin. They've now rotated their bot lane back towards this bot side, and they're probably going to try and crack open some plates and then translate that into their second dragon, is what you'd expect.
This favors Singularity quite a bit overall. A slow early game, not much happening. The flash beam burner from Scoot is back up again. Ryan, Vayu have been scaling up. Krogson, he's down in farm, but unchallenged. Nilly's up in farm, which is a thing.
Scoot can go for that long-range tunnel. Might be a little int underneath the towers. The hook goes wide, but they do actually land onto Rai. I might just have to hold my thoughts there. Vayu has got his ultimate available, and in comes Joykin. So they just get a little bit of poke off as Legions double sigils again and wins the trade versus Krogson.
Yeah, counterplay on the LeBlanc. Can't really say too much more about it than that.
Cosmic Radiance available to Vayu as well, which makes his life a little bit rougher to actually get any kills onto Rai there. Legion's making his way down. Ultimate not available quite yet, but that bullet time is coming up. The Rift Herald gets summoned in the mid lane, and Scoot jumps on. That's the Cosmic Radiance into the bullet time. Everybody's immortal, and that's first blood already picked up. Hoist flashes forward, chases into Rai, and finds himself the kill. And the fight is turning around. The teleport's coming in. Coincidence has joined in, throws out the slow, gets caught out by the laser beams though, and Legion jumps in forwards. The barrier's been used. Legion pings back out. Nilly's onto that flank. Nilly flashes in. He's going to get jumped onto. The rocket, the showstopper's so big, but it's not enough. Joykin finds the kill, and Dusty find the team fight win. Krogson has to run away as he's getting spotted out. Only is looking for him. Nu's going to find the kill. Legions jumps over. They're giving it to the AD carry. Hoyes finds the kill. Vayu is just going to get sacrificed to the turrets as he is being run down by Only in Legions.
Moby Boots coming in. Only should be able to catch him. If he gets a flay, Legions might get it. But he'll just take the kill for himself. Either way, huge team fight win there for Dusty. 5 members down for 1, and critical mistake from Singularity. They got overconfident because of the slow early game, thinking this is great for us, but Dusty are still stronger. They execute well in the team fight, they find the skirmish, and you are just not strong enough to contest. Second dragon for Dusty, now a 2k gold lead. Big explosion from that early game.
Hoyes 2-0-2 now on the Misfortune. He's going to be feeling very, very comfortable. Lily jumps into Legions. Legions is going to get the double chains off us. He's doing a lot of damage here. Actually, maybe feeling a little confident. Goes in for the distortion, and Legions just finds a solo kill. Nearly getting bullied right now. 0 and 2.
Dusty want this playoff spot. They want to knock Nordic out and secure themselves an opportunity, possibly even to get as high as 3rd place right now. Slow early game, but they have started to explode things, and now Krogson under threat in the mid lane.
Yeah, taking some rockets, only jumping in forwards. Joachim looking for the kick, isn't going to find it, so plates are the reward. Krogson able to clear out this wave, though, with the powered up laser beam. Hoyes does have the bullet time if he wants to try and hold this wave, but he has to be very careful. Dodging away on the dazzle, but he's already been caught out. They're going to try and get the healing off as Ultimate will pin him in place. The teleport was interrupted. I didn't see what by. There's now Rai.
It was Scoot interrupted in the top lane, but only 35's found, and Manta's going to come in, and the trade's going to be there, but this farm is going to be missed out by Hoyes.
Oh, no, the dazzle.
And there was a shutdown ultimately. Actually, even worse.
That's actually pulling Joachim away from the wave as well.
Yeah, so a lot of farm missed there. Plate also handed over, and Hoyes, there was a small shutdown on him, I believe, because he was 2-0. But Singularity answering back, still very much behind in this situation.
Coincidence with the powered up rockets. Pew pew pews through the wave. He's looking to get a base. That minion was out of range of the cannon. That's really unlucky. Joachim's going to shove the wave in. The end of the plates has worn off, and Dusty will leave this phase with an advantage of 2,500 gold.
Yeah, pretty big, pretty significant. 2 minutes 45 until that next dragon. That'll put them on soul point. And we saw, even after the early game, I was saying this favors Singularity, and that dragon fight is what cost them heavily and put things in Dusty's favor, gave them the momentum they needed, and they can keep capitalizing on that. Legions looks for a little trade on Krogson, but isn't going to find too much. And now Joachim and Only 35 are routing in. They want this Rift Herald, and they're going to push Scoot away and stop him from even contesting this blue.
Legions jumps forward, gets the double chains off. Doesn't quite get the damage there, though, as Joachim is going to step forward. Scoot is getting really, really destroyed right now, and Joachim actually goes in for the flash. Click, Krogson's down. Dusty are here to play right now.
Beautiful kick coming out from Joachim onto Krogson. And for someone who had such a rough game yesterday, he is really making up for it. Vayu and Rai just sitting bot, and against the Jaime, he's hard to dive. He's very hard to push a wave into. He's okay holding up in that situation, and they're going to take that Herald. And if you look at the top lane, Plate's now being given over to Hoyes.
Well, Plate's not anymore.
Tower given over to Hoyes, rather. 450 gold in his pocket, and this Misfortune feeling very comfortable about that one. Take a look at the gold in front of us. 1,600 the lead mid lane. Everywhere else, there is pretty sizable leads, though, apart from the support role. They're now looking to potentially dive Coincidence, though.
Coincidence, I don't know if he has a stopwatch. Does get a lot of damage off onto Vayu. Vayu's going to have to heal himself. Gets the lantern away. Legions comes forward. Vayu's going to get picked up by Coincidence. Scoot jumps onto the back line, looks for the knock-up, but he is down. Legions is on a killing spree. Dusty are walking through Team Singularity right now.
Beautiful turn around there from Dusty. Only 35 and Legions arriving in just the right time, and the Heimer, Coincidence landing the stun onto Vayu, delaying everything and getting that maximum beam damage from the turret. It's very hard to dive a Heimer, but Coincidence does play it well, and things are looking worse and worse for Singularity. But remember, they can't make first. They can't get knocked out of playoffs. They can't even lose second place. Nordic are the ones hurting right now if this game keeps going in Dusty's favor.
And one of the things you were hitting on for the side of Vipers, who are our top team, Nordic are one of the most threatening teams to them. So if you're Vipers right now, you're all cheering for Dusty to win.
I mean, you saw what Nordic did to Singularity. I mean, I feel like Singularity not facing against Nordic isn't the worst thing, but with Dusty playing like this right now, I don't think you have good options.
Every team is scary.
Every team is scary.
Every team in our top 4, in our top 5 currently, I would say, are scary.
Have you seen Hybrid recently?
Yeah, I mean, you're not even wrong. As Legions jumps onto Rai, almost gets the chunk. Isn't going to commit for more, doesn't want to risk his life, but Joachim over the wall means Rai really, really can't step up as Vayu going to make his way forward, and that's just another turret picked up. Legions hasn't quite got himself the double distortion available yet. The heal's going to come down. This is going to be the third Drake at 17 minutes. Joachim having a wonderful game on the Lee Sin. Everybody on Dusty playing superb right now. Toys is going to make his way over. Got that Essence Reaver finished up. So he's got his first kind of major item picked up, and now they're stealing a red buff away. Scoot doesn't have a jungle this game.
No, he's just constantly being denied. And this is the thing we said, huge priority afforded to Dusty from their laning picks, and it gave them this ability to shove in and contest frequently. Krogson was the only one who could really contest a shove, but it's really difficult for him to walk away from his lane when there's potentially a Lee Sin or LeBlanc threatening. They're going to transition this into a mid tower. 4 for 0 in turrets, 3 for 0 in dragons. We're potentially going to get a 22-23 minute Infernal Soul, and we already saw how much damage Legions is doing. It's going to get even more extreme if they can get that one.
How heartbreaking for Singularity is this game. They've been so dominant for the entirety of the Nordic champion split, and to come into your final game, lose in the final week your spot at the top, and then go down to this position where you're now potentially just going to lose the game. Sure, you don't lose anything in the standings, but you lose so much elsewhere.
Absolutely do. And it's the confidence as well is a big hit if Singularity loses this one. It's the confidence that these are one of the teams you're potentially facing up against. Dusty could make third. Dusty, if they win the tiebreak, if they win this game, if they win the tiebreak against Hellerod, they could get themselves in a third. They could face Singularity again. And after a performance like this, it's going to hit them hard. Three minutes on that Infernal Soul. That's what we're looking towards. You're not really at the point where Singularity want to fight. You're 5,000 gold down. You are far way away from your scaling points. Ceres just finished by Rai as I was about to call it out. But it's like you look at the items and there's nothing really significant.
Nilly, you might be fully charged up, but you can't Haymaker if you're CC'd. Joykim finds an easy kill, and Singularity are just being dismantled. It's the only way to word it. They're really, really having a rough game.
Dropping like flies across the board, and I think there's issues with draft. I think there's issues with execution. They had a good early where they just managed to keep things even. With a little dance coming out.
Well, I mean...
You got to take the wins
Sure
when you can
thing,
get them.
buddy. He's been playing well outside of that hook. We're going to let him off.
Yeah, and right now, Control very much in favor of Dusty. Going to take that top tier 2, cracking down on these turrets. And typically, tier 2 towers are pretty hard to take. Hard to break, even against teams that are behind. It can be a struggle. But they've managed to take those. They do end up losing tower, top, and bot in response. But Dusty are 6k gold up. Looking for 2 minutes until that Infernal, and you can see the gold leads in front of us. Between bot laners, it's not actually that big, only about 800, but the discrepancy mid is just monumental. The discrepancy in the jungle, monumental as well. Rek'Sai's never going to feel better about this. He's just going to fall off, and Krogshin, yes, he will scale up, but you have a fight in 2 minutes that you really do not want to give up. And that's the question. That's going to be the question. Do Singularity give up the Infernal Soul? And you may be thinking, of course not. But I'm not sure how well they're going to take this fight. And if they lose this fight and the soul, you lose Baron. And that's the big thing.
It's rough. It's really, really rough here for Singularity. But for Legions, you are rejoicing. For the rest of Dusty as well. Their hopes here in the playoffs rest on this death cap into the Luden's Echo. Krogston, you are doomed, my dude. Chains will proc. Actually, he breaks him in time, but that's enough to send a Heimer. And Legions is chasing in. Heimer doing it means they are going to actually rush this Baron so quickly.
It's just gone. It's just gone.
Like, they've got the empowered turrets. They're doing so much damage. Coincidence isn't even in the pit. This is free as hell. Dusty just going to pick up a Baron Nashor. 21 minutes on the clock. They've got Infernal Soul spawning up in 55 seconds. They can base, spend their gold. And this is just so hard here for Singularity now.
As they were completing the Baron, it was a 6k gold lead. That's expanded even more. It's just shy of 8,000. Resets are coming in, empowered by the Baron. They're spending the gold. 2-item spike for Hoys. They're super far ahead.
He threaded that. Oh my lord.
I don't think Singularity can take this fight, but I feel like they just lose the game if they don't, but they lose the game if they do. This is so rough for Singularity.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Legions jumps in forward, throws out a sigil, looking to try and stop some bases here is Rai. Can't actually fully channel. He's been chunked out by Legions already from that fantastic thread on the chains there. As Dusty moving forward, look at the vision control they've got on this side of the map as well. They're full control of this part of the map.
Value right now.
Yeah, Vayu might just get blown up. I don't think you can proc yourself in time. He has to flash away. Vayu down on low HP.
He's not down, but he's definitely out of this fight. He's going to have to reset, and this means the Dragon's just going down. Infernal Soul for Dusty. They already have the Baron.
Watch Legion celebrate this with a one-shot. Jumping in, gets the damage off onto Scoot. Scoot follows up with the ultimate, and he is down. Hoyes gets the kill. Now only goes in with a flash. Nearly's taking so much damage from the Soul as Legions gets another kill. 4-0-6. 23 minutes on the clock. Dusty have Baron. They have Dragon Soul, and Vayu may just get caught out in between turrets.
And this team, you can see how much they want to be at playoffs against the number 2 team in the league, and they're brushing them off like it's nothing. This win would secure Dusty the spot. It's not over yet, but it definitely feels that way for Singularity. The scaling has not come in yet.
The slogan of the Nordic Championship is any team can beat any team. This game proves it more than anything. Singularity look like a force to be reckoned with. Look like the strongest team in the region. Oh my lord. Krogson getting chunked out, and Dusty are sieging up. They're going to open up the mid lane inhibitor turret. The bot lane inhibitor is being focused up. The top lane inhibitor tower is being focused up, and Dusty are cracking open this game wide open for themselves, and Singularity have no way to answer. The damage coming down from Legions with the Luden's Echo, the Death Cap, and the Medjay Soul Stealer. Compared that with his Infernal Soul, he is just chunking members out left, right, and center. Dusty, they're looking to close now. They put the ultimate on the tower. They've got themselves a kill onto the mid lane, and the wave clear is dead. They've got the flash, they've got the flay. The Petrifying Gaze does pin a couple of members in place as Hoyes gets down to bullet time. 3 kills, 4 kills have already been picked up. Rai is the only one who's standing, and Hoyes gets a quadra kill to round out the game. Dusty are very much in with a chance of making it to playoffs, and what a way to end off.
That is the win that will do it. Dusty are in playoffs. We have our top 4, and Nordivind are out. Singularity couldn't hold up against this Dusty side, and it was a game they needed to win. If they lost this one, Dusty would have to go up in another best-of-1 tiebreaker against Nordivind. Who knows what could have happened? But in this form, honestly, I wouldn't be in favor of Nordivind right now, but they secure it. They have now tied points with Hillerod. There will be a tiebreaker between Dusty and Hillerod to decide that 3rd/4th, but ultimately it knocks Nordivind out. They are still stuck at 7 points. Those two are on 8. And a critical win for Dusty. The early game looked pretty slow-paced, but it got to that one dragon fight. They just dominated it, and from there, there was no stopping Dusty at all.
Dusty were a sandstorm in that game. They just blew through Singularity. And with that, we have our top 4 teams. So it'll be Vipers in 1st. Then we have Team Singularity in 2nd, Dusty in 3rd, and Hillerod in 4th. Now, this means...
I just said they're tied, so it's...
Oh, yeah. No, we got a tiebreaker. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. My brain is completely cooked after those last 2 games.
Again, Vipers in 1st place.
Yep.
Firmly. Team Singularity in 2nd firmly. Dusty and Hillerod are combined on 8 points, so they will play a tiebreaker to decide who is in 3rd, who is in 4th, and who plays against Vipers and Singularity, and then we will have our playoffs teams.
Yes, unfortunately, the tiebreaker game will be played off-stream tomorrow, but if you keep in touch looking at the DreamHack LOL Twitter, the announcement will go up there. Also, if you follow the teams on social media as well, they'll also probably be posting whereabouts they are playing. One team may be a little bit more excited than the other, but I mean, it's Vipers and Singularity are like the 2 teams you're playing into. Both look pretty bloody scary. So 3rd or 4th for me, it's
but
like,
I think
which one's worse?
Look at their form on the day.
Yeah.
Look at how well Vipers played their day compared to Singularity, who just had that last game. Right now, their place is looking pretty nice.
Yeah.
All things considered. So I think we'll see these teams trying. I think by all means, you want to beat out this other team, get a confidence boost, get that 3rd place, go up against Singularity. If they perform like they did today, you're going to finals, you're going to EU Masters. But we'll see. A lot still to play for, and we will be joining you for the whole playoff journey. But unfortunately, yeah, as you said, the tiebreaker, if you go to twitter.com/DreamHackLol, there'll be updates there, and you'll get to know the details of the game.
Yes.
Hopefully post-game screenshots to show you
Yeah.
who inted and all that nice all that nice stuff.
Hopefully we'll have like an MVP graphic as well. You can see who didn't int, who reverse inted,
Yeah.
carried. But that was honestly... What a day. What an incredible way to end out the regular season. Obviously, game 1, while it didn't mean anything, it was so bloody fun. And then every game was just... It set the tone. Like, every game was somewhat semi-clown fiesta, and I love that. That's my favorite thing about casting the Nordic Championship. I'm really grateful to be here because Your games are so fun to watch. Like, these Nordic games are so fun to
There's
watch.
a chaotic element, but you can very much see the plans coming in, and there's a lot of fighting. It's like these players love to skill check each other and go, we're going to challenge you on this, see if you can pull out ahead. And a lot of times you can see that someone comes ahead in terms of the raw skill and it ends up delivering. But I feel like we've got a stacked playoffs. We've got 4 teams who've shown a lot of strength so far on the split. And I think it goes a long way to say that Nordic, Hybrid, Bifrost, and Orlando all have had great moments, and obviously won't be joining us for the playoffs, but just got to say a good effort from all of them, especially keeping the race so close to the end, and even situations like Hybrid getting a late upset that potentially could have put spanners in some way.
That really could have
threatened Dusty. Yeah. Dusty still able to make it through, but
if Hybrid got their win, Nordvin would be in with a chance still, right? Yes.
Yeah. If Hybrid or Singularity, if Hybrid or Singularity got their win, then Nordvin would still be in a chance.
That's how close it was. One win in the final day was deciding our top 4.
Yep.
And we still haven't fully decided what's what, but that is an incredible split here at the Nordic Championship. Now, obviously, this weekend, is it Sunday or Saturday for the playoffs? I'm not doing playoffs, unfortunately. I'm here for finals, but I'm not here for
There'll be details on twitter.com/.
You can't even remember when you're doing it.
It's... I need to check the date.
Sunday, I'm getting a confirmation. So this Sunday is the playoffs for the Nordic Championship.
I was testing you.
Yeah,
you
sure, buddy. So, on Sunday, you can join us here over on the DreamHack Twitch, where you can see all of the finals. It would be this beautiful man here, and also joined by a Scoundrel. Will unfortunately be a home broadcast, won't be here in the studio. Same for the finals as well, due to the COVID-19 stuff. We kind of have to play it a little bit safe here to make sure that we're able to cover that.
Yeah, nice thing is, though, because I'm at home broadcast, I can cast in my underwear and you wouldn't know.
He's in his underwear now.
Hey, don't tell them.
He's going to be in a sleeping bag. He'll be a little bug, little grub with a face and your headset on.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Guys, thank you very much for joining us here at the Nordic Championship for the regular season. We've still got more to go. This weekend on Sunday is our playoffs, and the following weekend is our grand finals. So there's still more to go. And then after that, it'll be who's representing the Nordics at the European Masters. So if you're a big fan of the Nordic region, there's still so much more League of Legends to consume here. So until then, good night, and we'll see you on Sunday.